being a serial killer a career option? You're watching Beyond the Trailers review of The Iceman.
What's this?
You think I'm a spoiled brat?
You like to be taken care of. There's nothing wrong with that.
I like the way you take care of me.
You're a family man now? A wife? Kids? Who are you kidding?
If you don't have it in you, now's the time to say it.
We've all been shocked and horrified by the crimes of Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted Bundy, and Ed Gein. But after studying the art of murder by killing homeless men in 1950s Hell's Kitchen in New York City, New Jersey loan shark Richard Kuklinski found himself recruited as a hitman by the mob, much like any big company would recruit a protege. But does that mean Kuklinski wasn't a serial killer because he was on someone's payroll? Or is a hitman simply a respectable serial killer? Such a difficult question is at the heart of The Iceman, the indie film that made the festival rounds last year and is now hitting theaters. And playing Kuklinski is Michael Shannon, who's become one of the darkest and most complex actors working in Hollywood today. While his first feature film was Groundhog Day all the way back in 1993, he got his big break 15 years later with a small yet spectacular role in Revolutionary Road. Roles in Bad Lieutenant and Take Shelter further fueled interest in this unique actor, as well as his role on HBO's Boardwalk Empire. But Hollywood has never known quite what to do with actors who don't fit into the existing stereotypes, which might be why only now has Shannon landed a role in a major studio picture, Man of Steel, as General Zod. Which film will help his career more, the big blockbuster or the small indie? It will be difficult for Shannon to make Richard Kuklinski sympathetic, but maybe he just needs to make him compelling. But can audiences stomach such a story? It might not matter if the critics can. And fear not, Shannon is also making moves not to be typecast, as he's co-starring in David Wayne's upcoming comedy They Came Together opposite Paul Rudd, Ed Helms, and Amy Poehler. Maybe after The Iceman, we could all use a good laugh to break the ice. So as I just asked in the opening, the big question here is, can this film make The Iceman sympathetic, or is it enough to just make him compelling? But I was surprised to find that the film went hard for sympathetic, and I feel that was ultimately a mistake and why the film didn't work for me overall. It was interesting. I would liken it to like a decent television movie, maybe like one of HBO's Misfires, which are still pretty good. I mean, of course, Michael Shannon was fantastic. I mean, he can play this kind of role in his sleep. And also, you know, the other thing, Chris Evans was really good. And it just reminded me how wasted he is as Captain America. He's a really quirky actor, despite, you know, he has leading man looks, but he really revels in the quirkiness if you've seen his other work. And I think that's where he excels. And he was really good here, very alive. And I always feel he seems kind of asleep as Captain America. So I liked his work here a lot, and I think Marvel would have been better off casting him pretty much as anybody but Captain America. But, you know, this is a very dark subject matter, and it's a true story, which, you know, I'm always in favor of hearing true stories, you know, as true as they can be. And I guess that's where I feel this film was wrong. I didn't think it was truthful. Not factually, but emotionally. That was my big problem with it, and I'll explain. But on a side note, I saw Pain and Gain on Monday, and I saw this movie on Tuesday, and it was 2 movies in a row where bodies were being cut up and disposed of. And it's pretty gruesome stuff, and it really happened. So I can understand it, but you know, it's a little disconcerting to see it shown twice on screen, and you know, it's sad that that stuff exists in the world like that. But you know, you're talking about a hitman here who killed at the end. They had like one of those like what happened afterwards, and they said Kuklinski killed over 100 people. And you know, I was looking into researching the guy, and he used to torture animals as a kid and kill animals. And he, you know, as I said in the opening, he practiced murder on his own, just for fun before he was recruited by the mob. Maybe not for fun, maybe it was a psychological thing driving him, but still. And I think the movie never really showed that. I mean, they always tried to make it look like he killed some jerk or a guy who had it coming or who, you know, nobody would miss, and that, you know, he took the job with the mob because he needed the money. And I think that really does a disservice to the true story. And also, I think it doesn't help people to try and like write off, you know, someone who has a real problem. You know, to some degree, I say write off evil. You know, it doesn't help to just to try and soften the blow like that. And so that's why I didn't like it. I felt I never really got to know Richard Kuklinski. I feel that this was just kind of like, oh, let's try and make this guy sympathetic. And never really explain what motivates him to do it, and how someone so horrible could exist. Which I think if you're going to make this movie, that's the movie you have to make. But, you might disagree. I know that people like a human interest story. I thought Winona Ryder was also very good. I was watching the film, and I felt kind of bad that she ruined her career with the whole shoplifting thing, because she did a nice job. So that's what I feel about The Iceman. I feel if you want to see a small film in theaters right now, I think you could see it. I would much more recommend that you see At Any Price. And if you're a Michael Shannon fan, you've seen Michael Shannon do this before, but if you're just like a really big Michael Shannon fan, sure. And if it was on, I don't know, it's a really disturbing subject matter. And while I thought Pain and Gain did something unique and different with it, this is really by the numbers. So that's my thought on The Iceman. Write your own thoughts down below if you've seen the film. And thank you for coming to be on the trailer for movie reviews like this, trailer reviews and other stuff. And I hope you'll check out some other videos. Thanks for watching. Bye.